They're not expecting much of Shedeur. They didn't, because if they thought that much of him, they'd have drafted him higher. If they thought that much of him, they would have given him a fair opportunity. But that's not what they've done. And I'm not, look, that's their organization. They run it how they see fit. But I don't know, people in Cleveland, I don't know how you would still have trust in this organization.
It seems like they just want to break Shedeur down to the root.
Or do you think it's that they want to just be right about their draft? Like that they valued Gabriel more.
Now let me ask you a question. What happens when a quarterback outperforms the competition but is still stuck behind them on the depth chart? What happens when a rookie steps up, leads by example, delivers on the field, and still gets benched? And what happens when that rookie is named Shedeur Sanders?
I'm well. I'm back at practice today, so I'm thankful.
Before we dive into one of the most explosive quarterback controversies of the NFL offseason, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another controversy into the wild world of football politics and power plays.
The quarterback race in Cleveland, we saw guys get out there, wing it around a little bit. We even heard from the two rookies in front of a microphone. What are you hearing out of Cleveland first blush with this situation, Tom?
I would start here. The pick for the Browns was Dillon Gabriel. That was the quarterback they targeted. That was the guy they took in the third round. That absolutely was Kevin Stefanski's guy. It sounds like that was also Andrew Berry's guy. The Shadur Sanders pick was because you're in the fifth round and you've got a guy who certainly has higher than fifth round talent.
The facts don't add up. Cleveland Browns training camp has been full of surprises, but one storyline refuses to go away, and that's the battle between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel for the backup QB spot behind Joe Flacco. Now here's what we know. On Thursday's practice, Shedeur Sanders went 7 for 10 with a touchdown. That's solid, that's clean, that's efficient. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, 3 of 14, no touchdowns, 1 interception. That's not just a bad day, that's a meltdown. Fast forward to Friday, Gabriel's first 5 throws were shown live on national television, and they were brutal. 1 missed badly on the run, 1 floated like a duck, another thrown to no one, 1 nearly intercepted in the end zone, and yet somehow, someway, Gabriel remains ahead of Shedeur on the depth chart. How? Why? Something doesn't add up. Media calls it out. This isn't just speculation anymore. Even major NFL analysts are raising eyebrows. Nick Wright from FS1's First Things First didn't mince words. It would be irrational to have Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders. And then came the bombshell quote of the week from the show's panel. It feels like they just want to break Shedeur down to the root. I think they just want to be right about their draft pick. That one line, that one chilling suspicion opened the floodgates, because now fans, former players, and insiders are asking the same thing. Is Shedeur Sanders being sabotaged just so the Browns can protect a third-round draft mistake? The Draft Politics explained, to understand this situation, you have to understand one thing. The NFL is not always a meritocracy. It's a league of politics, perception, and power. Dillon Gabriel was selected in the third round. That's a premium investment. The front office, particularly GM Andrew Berry, stuck their necks out to draft Gabriel that high. And when a front office makes that call, they have a stake in proving themselves right. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders came in as a later round pick, despite having a stronger resume, cleaner tape, and a football pedigree few rookies could match. So now you've got 2 QBs, 1 drafted for pride, 1 drafted on potential, and only 1 seems to be earning his reps. But the other one is getting them. Practice reps in politics. Here's the real kicker. Shedeur Sanders hasn't even been practicing with the first team offense. He's throwing to backup receivers often against the first team defense. Think about that imbalance. You're a rookie QB. You're not getting chemistry reps with your top WRs. You're facing your team's best defense every time you take the field, and still you outperform the guy with all the advantages. If that isn't proof of raw talent, poise, and resilience, what is? But what does he get in return? Crickets. No bump in reps, no change in status, no recognition from the coaching staff. Why? Because the Browns front office seems more interested in being right than being real. Dillon Gabriel struggles. Let's talk about Dillon Gabriel. On paper, he was supposed to be a mobile, smart, quick trigger quarterback with upside. In reality, he's struggling to throw a consistent spiral. His passes wobble and drop early. Beat reporters say practices grind to a halt when he takes the field, and some even claim he's lost all confidence. Think about that, a third-round pick, practicing like a fifth-string camp arm, but still being treated like QB2. NFL Network's Greg Rosenthal mentioned on his podcast that Browns beat reporters were concerned Gabriel is walking onto the field knowing he's bad. That's not just a performance issue, that's a mental one. And if you're a coach, you can't have that under center. So again, why is he still ahead? Answer: optics. The locker room whispers. This is where it gets dangerous. NFL locker rooms are like high schools with shoulder pads. Nothing stays quiet. Players know who's ballin' and who's bluffing. And you better believe veterans are starting to ask, why is Shedeur Sanders not getting more chances? Why are we wasting reps on a guy who can't move the chains? What are we really doing here? That's how trust erodes, not just in the quarterback room, but across the entire team. When performance stops mattering, everyone starts questioning the system. The Browns might think they're protecting a draft decision, tearing their locker room apart. In the process, the timing is ripe, and now the football gods are aligning. Kenny Pickett, injured. Dillon Gabriel, dealing with a hamstring. Joe Flacco, serviceable but not the future. Everything is lining up for Shedeur Sanders to step in, to take command, to take reps, to take this team into the future. But here's the scary part. Will the Browns let it happen, or will they keep forcing Gabriel down everyone's throat until the whole thing collapses? Fans want Shedeur Sanders. Let's talk about the fan base. Browns fans aren't blind. They see what's happening. Social media is flooded with comments. Start Shedeur now. Gabriel's not it. This team finally has a QB with swag, and they're burying him. And the preseason games, they're turning into national TV showcases for Shedeur Sanders. The Hall of Fame game drew 6 million viewers. The demand is there. The spotlight is here, and the Browns are on the clock. Matthew Stafford parallel elsewhere in the league. There's a crisis brewing that could impact this story. Matthew Stafford injured again. Back issues, age 37, production is declining, and behind him, not much. Could a team like the Rams come calling for a young, NFL-ready quarterback? Maybe, and if the Browns keep playing games with Shedeur's future, another franchise might just give him the opportunity Cleveland is too scared to offer. Deion Sanders factor. And let's not forget, Shedeur Sanders' father is Deion Sanders. Prime time, the man who's never been quiet, never been overlooked, and never let politics get in the way of performance. You don't think Deion's watching this? You don't think he's waiting for the moment when his son is passed over again? One tweet, one podcast clip, one public comment from Coach Prime, and this story explodes. What's really at stake? This isn't just about reps. It's about reputation. The Browns can do the right thing and elevate Shedeur based on merit, or they can dig in, protect their pride, and risk becoming the next cautionary tale in NFL quarterback politics. Let's be real, if Shedeur was drafted in the 3rd round and Gabriel was the late rounder, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Shedeur would be QB2 already. That alone tells you everything you need to know. So here's the question. Are the Browns making a football decision or a front office cover-up? Are they building a roster around performance or around politics? You decide. But one thing is clear, Shedeur Sanders is ready, the fans are ready, and the NFL is watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, give this video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments, should Shedeur Sanders be QB2 in Cleveland right now? This is bigger than preseason. This is about what kind of team the Browns want to be. Until next time, stay sharp, stay vocal, and stay tuned.